Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Humankind. Humankind is a brand new 4X strategy game. Well, I say it's brand new. The game is out. You can buy it, you can play it, but it's not really finished in terms of development. We'll talk about that in a little bit. First of all, I want to talk about the visuals. This game is a work of art. It is absolutely gorgeous. I've been a long-time Civilization fan, and Civ 5 for me peaked at the 4X genre. I mean, more or less. Alright, there was some things in space that did things a little bit differently, but for me, peak was pretty much Civ 5. On Civ 6 game, let's say I disagree with quite a lot of the design decisions and balancing of that game, and wasn't really my thing. I preferred Civ 5 with a couple of Civ 6 elements. Anyways, that's completely irrelevant. This game is irrelevant, and it is pretty much a direct competition to the Civilization franchise, which has reigned supreme and pretty much held monopoly over the entire 4X turn-based strategy game genre. There are other competitors, obviously, in the mix, but in terms of popularity, in many ways, in terms of quality, in so many different ways, Civ 5 has been supreme. Now, however, there is this. Well, first of all, let's take a look at the options menu from video. So, quality level, actually, I can turn it up. Why was I not informed of this? Okay, let's do that. Audio, a whole host of different sliders, very good. Video options, I'm not impressed. I'd like some more video options, please. Civ 5 and Civ 6 have more video options, and I'm going to be comparing this game to Civ 5 and 6 a lot. If you don't want to hear about it, I'm sorry, but it's the elephant in the room, you know. You can't not do it. Anyways, resolution, full screen on or off, etc, FPS lock, but I would love to see more quality options. Anyways, audio on the other hand, a million different things. Mute sound when the game is in the background. So important for a game like this, where you might want to play a little bit, Alt-Tab, do something, and then come back and play. That's usually how people do it. Well, not usually how people do it, but a lot of people do it like that. Holocene and Georgian calendars, pretty cool. All sorts of different tutorials. Battle animation speed, which is quite interesting. Maximum number of saves, etc, etc. Plenty of gameplay options. A lot of them are just tutorials, but alright. UI, English, Spanish, German, Korean, French, Polish, Brazilian, Portuguese, Brazilian rather, Russian, simplified, and traditional Chinese. Cinematic subs on or off. A couple of other options here. Battle view, which is display special terrain rendering in battles. Ooh, it's not that special. I mean, it's kind of interesting, but it's not that special. Kind of underwhelming. I was expecting more from this, but anyways. Select to reorder on or off. Enable mandatories. You don't know what this is yet. You'll see, don't worry. Mouse and keyboard and controls all fully rewindable. And a couple of accessibility options. Good. Now the most easiest and obvious thing is out of the way. What is the game like? Well, I already talked about the visuals a little bit, and I said how gorgeous this thing is. Let's set up a new game. And let's go. Let's just leave everything as it is. And then we'll do offline mode. Game is frozen. It's loading in. Okay. Alright, it's finally loaded everything in. We can talk about it. So, these are the various civilizations that you have. Or actually, these are the various players. I'm pretty sure that's Edgar Allan Poe. Why is he leading a civilization? I don't know. It's a little bit weird. Don't quite recognize the rest of these, but apparently Edgar Allan Poe's in this game. You can change the world size, the world shape. there you go. These are pretty standard options for a game like this. Climate, new worlds, island odds, etc, etc. Quite a lot of customization when it comes to the actual planet. Pace from Blitz to Endless, which is a little bit weird. It's not endless, it's just 600 turns. It's definitely not endless. Anyway, so we'll keep it at slow, and then difficulty, obviously, this all depends on the level of bonuses that the AI gets. But there's something missing here. There's a turn limit in this game that you can't turn off. Last Human Standing still has the turn limit. Shame. Shame. It's a crying shame. This should not be in the game. There should be an option to turn off the turn limit, or at least put it to 9,999 turns. It's the way it is right now. But anyways, let's start the game, and then, well, I'll give you the gist of the game itself. I'll compare it a little bit more to Civ 5, but bear in mind that this is a fairly bare-bones first impressions video. I did not have time to finish a single game of this. I've started a couple, but I didn't have time to finish a single one. I've played an okay amount, enough to give you some information about the game, but this is not a review by any stretch of the imagination. I am nowhere near good or competent enough at the game to tell you everything about the content, the balance, the mechanics, and you know, what needs to be tweaked by 2%, and so on and so forth. I can give you my general impressions about the game and some general information. This is the purpose of the video. This is why it's a first impression, not a review. People often mistake the two, and get it straight, get your expectations, you know, limit your expectations, let's say. So, damn, this thing is a long time to load. Did not expect this. I'll see you in a second. Okay, I've loaded in, I've played a couple of turns, so here we are. Well, Juggernaut, where's my warriors, where's my settlers? Well, okay, listen, here's the thing. The game does have a number of similarities to Civilization. Hex-based, different epochs and eras, you advance in technology, you control the whole civilization, the map kind of looks similar to, etc, etc. There's many, many things, but there's also quite a lot of things that set it apart. Technology, growth, etc, etc, how it's handled, that's also kind of different, but again, you do find similarities here as well. I mean, there's food, there's production, right? You will feel at home with these things as well. And that's the reason, because there's, that's the reason. Let me try again. The reason for that is kind of pragmatic. I mean, there's good reason why Civilization is popular. Stuff like this works, right? There's a reason people love it, and there's no point in straying too far from the path. That said, this game does something Civilization does not. This game does verticality. Oh boy, does it do verticality. Matter of fact, I think I found a stunning example of the verticality that this game does. Let me pass a couple of turns just randomly, and I'm not focusing really on doing too well in the game. Okay, yeah. Well, okay, this is a good example as well. Here we go. Look at this. There is no way for this unit to get up here. They have to go around. Or go and fight the mammoth or something, and then, you know, take a shorter route there. This sort of verticality, I mean, look at how high this thing is compared to stuff down here. This, currently, is just an obstacle. Later in the game will become extremely useful for stuff like artillery. I mean, you put artillery up here, you have coverage over the whole area, you are very happy. That said, there's also quite a few differences in how settlements are managed, and actually how your tribes currently are managed. You go around hunting for food, is the thing, and here we go. Manual battle. Yeah, let's do manual battle. End deployment. I'm happy with that. Battle rounds. Okay, where is... Wasn't it there?
What's over there?
Ah, there it is. Okay. Oh, it flanked me. Curse you. Not gonna lie, kind of surprised that that it has the intelligence to do so. Okay, we're gonna lose. Does this mean we're gonna lose between 9? Yeah, between 9 and 25, and it's gonna lose between 19 and 32. Okay. Right, that went well. Feel like I could have positioned myself slightly better, but, you know, it's a deer. I didn't really expect it to have any military prowess, but clearly it does. And there we go. Lost some stuff, but, you know, it is what it is. There we go. The hunt at Stribor is over. We've won. That is how combat is done in this game. Oh yeah, moving around and the whole strategic part and combat, two separate things. Like I said, it's different from Civ. There are elements that it takes that just work and are... it just works. There are elements that it takes that are sensible and you know, you sort of see why they do it the way they do it, but it also improves on the formula quite a bit and innovates on it. Now, visually, I already mentioned, I absolutely love the game. When you zoom out like this, you get a sort of grey, paperish kind of map. Very cool. When you zoom in, the terrain is just gorgeous. I mean, look at this. The terrain is just beautiful. For me, personally, it is the perfect combination between realism and cartoony stylistic design, right? This is painted on. You can see that this you know, is somewhat of a cartoony representation, but it's not over the top. For me, Civ 6 went a little bit too far into the abstract and cartoonish. This is a little bit more toned down. Anyways, you have culture, you have deeds, all of these things. I don't want to do a tutorial on the game right now and tell you what all of this does. Basically, you pick a culture and then that culture effectively guides you through the entire game. I mean, this is where you really pick your nation, right? To use a Civilization equivalent, this is kind of where you would do such a thing. For example, the Mycenaeans are very warlike, and so are the Assyrians. The Babylonians, they focus more on research and etc., on science, if you will. The Egyptians, well, they got their own thing as always, and you know, you can go through all of these. Phoenicians trade and money and traders, and I'm assuming they also have naval units get a bonus and so on and so forth. There is more of this later for you to toy around with, but this is sort of how you build up your empire. And then competitive deeds, pretty obvious. Nomadic tribe, fame points, etc., What's wrong with the game? I feel like if I talk about the positives, I'm going to make a 3-hour-long video of me just showcasing the game of here's what you can do. So the good things. It innovates on the formula a lot. The combat is unique, exciting, fun, really unique for a game like this. I mean, to have everything pause and then just focus on the combat, hey, good work. Multiplayer-wise, I'm not sure how this works. I haven't played multiplayer, but I feel like it might be a little bit slow for multiplayer, but again, that's not really a problem for me. I don't have any friends to play it with, jokes aside. If I do end up playing it with someone, it won't be a problem for us how long the other person takes to do their turn, and anyways. I'll leave the multiplayer for multiplayer people. For now, though, I talked about plenty of the good. What's wrong with the game? Well, for this, I'm going to go over to the Steam reviews, which are good. 75%, I think, 74% positive so far at the time of recording. But what is wrong with the game is pretty much agreed upon in these reviews, and I've read a substantial number of them. The game is a little bit empty. Right. So there is some content missing from the game, and it is it is unfortunate. I mean, it is what it is. I wish that weren't the case, but there is a definite lack of content. Matter of fact, so much so that I would recommend that you wait on the game.
An outpost,
what do I mean by lack of content? Well, it's not that it doesn't have a religious system like Civ didn't, and then it got it via DLC. Now, it's more like there is stuff, but it's often irrelevant. For example, I know pollution is a thing in the game later down the line, though I didn't really get to toy around with it too much. But even though pollution is a thing, it doesn't matter. I mean, you can min-max pollution a little bit, and then, you know, sure, it'll benefit you in some way, but it really doesn't matter almost at all. Let's attack this mammoth, see how terribly we do, or not. Shows the instant resolution, see how we... We both died. Okay, we're never doing that ever again. Wow. Alright, fine. Fine. Let's do that. And then also, like, just some parts of the game, more than others, seem absolutely irrelevant. I'm sorry, but that's what it's like. I do like the game, though, don't get me wrong. It's a really great starting point. However, Civilization has a boatload of expansions, there's a boatload of DLC. Here, you can definitely feel that it is missing stuff. It's missing either more civilizations, either more units, more... It's missing stuff, right? That said, the basis is there, and it is pretty darn good. On top of that, though, the game has some problems that could be addressed either via modding or via DLC in the future. The war support system is weird. Now, I'm kind of sorry I didn't load in a later game that I can show you. I feel like that would be a little bit more helpful. But there is a war support system in the game, and the purpose of the war support system is to stop people from militarily snowballing too much. You know, when you conquer one neighbor and then, well, all of a sudden you've doubled your industrial might, more or less, and, well, you just go on and conquer another and another and another, and basically, you know, the first person to start snowballing is the person that wins. The war support system is there to sort of stop that, but it's weird. I feel like some of the Civ systems, either from overhaul mods or from the game itself, did a better job of this and made it more understandable, simple, and more pragmatic, if you will. I'll give you one example. If you take a city in Civ, there is hell to pay in terms of happiness, production, and so on until you quell it down. Here it's less that and more of these, I don't want to say arbitrary, but it's just weird. You'll see what I mean if you play the game, or if you investigate it like a full Let's Play or a proper review or whatever. You can read more about it, but it's weird. Anyways, there are a couple of bugs that come from time to time. Maritime gameplay is kind of slow. The AI is... Well, I suppose in most of these games, generally speaking, the AI is only as good as the amount of buffs that you give it, but it's really not that great. Though, it gets the job done. I don't mind it. But, you know, if we don't see any improvements to the AI, it wouldn't be the, death of the game, but at the same time, I'd really like to see some improvements to the AI. Anyways, whether we do or not, I suppose we'll time will tell. The maritime gameplay is also... I haven't had a chance to play with it a lot. I've just dabbled in it a little bit. And, I mean, look, it's kind of slow. And I feel like Civ did a slightly better job of it. Which is saying quite a bit, considering Civ didn't do a terrific job of it. But never mind that for now. Let's do some more combat. There we go. Alright, to be honest with you, I haven't had the chance to play in the super late game with like World War II era units or after that. I feel like this combat system and generally the game would be extremely fun to play with some late game units, but be that as it may, I feel like the more I explain, the more I'm revolving around the same few sentences. It's a great basis, it's a great game, but there are a few things that are not terrific. And also, I mean, this combat system, while it's good and it's innovative and it's interesting, there's also a problem with it, and that being... Well, imagine you're doing a huge naval invasion of, like, half the continent. It's gonna have to be segmented into individual combats, and... Well, how exactly are we gonna do that? Yes, so... Here's the thing. I mean, there is no launching of big naval invasions, or there is no bombardment of cities or blockades or anything like that. It's... Yeah, you just... How exactly, what do you... You mean, you land and then you fight a series of individual combats like this? In Civ, with different ranges for different units, and aircraft and stuff, you get a bit of more of a smooth sense to the entire progression. Here, it, you know, the thing that lifts it up kind of ends up shooting it in the foot as well at the same time, almost, and it's, well, you know, could be better, could be worse, I suppose. Anyways, with all of that said, I can't harp on the game too much. However, it needs more work. It really does need more work. And I think the most important bit of it is that it has a good, solid foundation. And I think I think this cannot be underestimated, or should not be underestimated. We, perhaps for the first time since Civ 4, have a good competitor to the Civilization franchise. However, this competitor is going to need some help to truly reach its full potential. It's going to need some DLC, it's going to need some more content, it's going to need mods, probably, to really iron out some of the imperfections here and there, let's say. And after that, well, we'll see what happens after that. But, yeah. Anyways, very basic first impressions video. Game visually looks phenomenal. Controls, pretty good. I wish I could play this on a tablet or something. I'm assuming that's going to come out later. Usually these games lend themselves very well to stuff like that. But, I really, really do like the... I mean, the new innovations that this game puts, I really love. From the outposts, the way the units work, the combat, the different cultures, tech trees and stuff, how you build your empire up, the province system and so on. I love all of this, but it needs a little bit more polishing and a little bit more love and time in the oven for it to truly flourish and blossom into a beautiful civilization killer. I know, it's such a cliche, and I don't actually mean it. I mean it sarcastically, but, you know, it needs it needs more time in the oven, it needs more work to get there. Anyways, there is a lore system as well in the game. There's a religion, there's a lore system, there's all of these things that Civ didn't have, so ultimately, do I recommend the game? If you have a tolerance for games that aren't necessarily fully completed, for games that do need more work, that the games aren't, like, you know, exactly where you want them to be, but you want to see it grow and you want to support the game, then yes. If you're looking for something to replace Civilization, I would say wait on it. Couple of months, maybe even longer, and then we'll see how the game develops, and we'll see where it goes from there. So far, I think this is a terrific base for a phenomenal 4X game, Civilization-like 4X game. It's complicated enough. It has a variety of things, which I'm not showing right now, though I should be. There is no score screen either, which is kind of a problem, but hey. But anyways, like I said, yeah, it's, I mean, look at that. You grow units by collecting food. So sensible and you know, just straight up sensible and you know, understandable for the period and all, but it's a shame. I mean, it's great and it's a shame. It's great because you're in this position and then, you know, you have a terrific basis for a great game, and it's a shame that it's not quite there yet. So ultimately, I can't really recommend it if you want something to replace Civ, but if you want a new 4X game and want to try some of the new mechanics, go right ahead. Game is developed by Amplitude Studios, published by Sega. I probably should mention that at the start of the video. Ultimately, you know, it's up to you, but as always, of course, but you know, I'm excited to see where the game's going to go from here. I really, really am. As for its current state, bit of a mixed bag. It's been a very short video, it's been a very to-the-point video, and haven't really shown you much of the game, and I've done this on purpose because I want you to go out and learn and explore it for yourself, because I feel like that's going to be most of the fun currently in the game, is learning how all these different things work, and if I just show you all of it, it's kind of, you know, kind of besides the point. It's sort of, you sort of miss out the point and miss out on the opportunity to learn yourselves and to sort of figure things out as you go along and create some exciting and weird empires. But anyways, thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Like, subscribe, try again. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Like, subscribe, I give up. Have fun. Take care. Bye-bye. It's 4 a.m. I can't do the outro. I can't speak that quickly anymore. Have fun. Take care. Bye-bye.